The Chicago Bears getting set to take on the Oakland Raiders in preseason game number 3. Nice night here in Oakland. Temperature 63 degrees. Little bit of a breeze. Humidity has gone up the last couple of hours, so the guys are going to work up a sweat. Now, we'll be watching a lot of players tonight because there's strong competition for jobs, but our chase players to watch, Isaiah Fry, the cornerback, and the offensive tackle, Jordan Mills.
Isaiah Fry, he really has good ascension. He's taken over for the injury to Calvin Hayden, the veteran nickel corner, and that's what he's going to do. He's a 6th-round draft pick out of Nevada a year ago, comes from practice squad, could be the starter for the Chicago Bears. How about Jordan Mills? He's a 5th-round draft pick from Louisiana Tech, 4-year contributor who earned first-team All-Western Athletic Conference honors, and that's what Aaron Cromer, the offensive coordinator, loves about him. His poise, and he plays within himself. He could be another rookie starter for the Bears.
Time to get an update from the field. For that, let's go downstairs to Sweet Lou Canellis. Lou.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Jim. Again, the defense plays without Henry Melton, who suffered a concussion back in the first preseason game at Carolina. Here's the good news. He's getting better and should be back on the football field come next week. Now, this first unit on defense for the Bears, terrific even without Melton and Peppers. In 6 opponents' possessions, they have forced 3 punts, had 2 takeaways, and last game against San Diego, not only did Wooten and McClellan have a sack, but so did Nate Collins. And again, this without their 2 Pro Bowlers in Julius Peppers and Henry Melton. Guys, back to you upstairs.
Thanks very much, Lou. We'll be checking in with Lou throughout the evening. Had a look at Mark Trestman on the sidelines. He's very familiar with Oakland. They loved having him here. He was an assistant coach for 3 seasons here, including the one in which Oakland went to the Super Bowl. That's the last time they had a winning season.
Yeah, and I think Bears fans are hoping he has the same impact on Jay Cutler, because Rich Gannon, then the starting quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, he was the NFL MVP. Played efficient, and I think that's what Mark Trestman, he really wants to see tonight. Efficient play from the offense, ebb and flow from quarterbacks and receivers, intermediate passes, and even down the field throws from the Chicago Bears tonight.
Matt Forte, he'll see plenty of action at running back. He broke off the big run last week against the San Diego Chargers, got some good blocking. We'll be looking at that offensive line. What are your thoughts about the 2 rookies, Kyle Long at right guard and Jordan Mills at right tackle?
Well, I'll tell you what, you listen to the coaches, they're like the odd couple, you know, Felix and Oscar, because one's really got a high intensity when you look at Kyle Long, and then there's Jordan Mills, who's more subdued as the right tackle. They become best buddies. They've been roommates through camp, and I really think Jordan Mills is just a calming factor for that right side of the offensive line.
And Kyle Long, he's a fiery guy. His dad, Hall of Famer Howie Long, is here tonight to watch his son play. Howie's sitting up in one of the suites provided by the Oakland Raiders. What a moment for the Long family. The Bears have won the toss. They've elected going to defer, so they will kick off to start the game and receive the kick in the second half. There's Robbie Gould teeing it up. The Bears and Raiders each 1-1 in preseason. The Raiders with a win over the Dallas Cowboys and a loss last week to the New Orleans Saints, where they did not play very well. Their starters struggled in the first half. For the Bears, 1-1 after a loss at Carolina and the win at home over San Diego. Back deep is the veteran Josh Cribbs, number 16. After 8 years in Cleveland, he signed with the Oakland Raiders. JT Thomas, who has really played well on special teams coverage for the Bears in preseason. Robbie Gould is set to kick it off, and we're underway in Oakland. Cribbs waiting for it, takes it on the run, drops the football, picks it up, looks for some room, and Craig Stelz shoves him out of bounds as he gets across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Make it the 21-yard return from the goal line. And the Oakland Raiders go on offense with Matt Flynn, number 15, the one-time Green Bay Packer, spent last year as a backup in Seattle. Signed as a free agent. He's had only 2 starts in his NFL career.
Yeah, and then you factor in what could be competing also in Terrell Pryor. He's only got 1 start, so you're only talking about realistically 3 starts at the quarterback position, which is the most important position, so they're very young. Greg Olson's the offensive coordinator. It is tough to bring along young quarterbacks to lead your team.
And they started off with Jenkins on a strong run, finding a good hole. Rashad Jenkins, fifth-year man out of Liberty with a 15-yard run. Let's check out the Bears on defense. As we mentioned, Julius Peppers seeing his first action. Corey Wooten has played well in preseason. Nate Collins has stepped in for the injured Henry Melton. The linebackers, John Bostic stepping up. James Anderson has played well. He's quietly had a real good preseason. And you see the secondary, which has played well for the Bears, with Tillman and Jennings at the corner. Short drop by Flynn, dumps it over the middle to the tight end, Michael Rivera, rookie out of Tennessee. And he is brought down up at the 45-yard line.
Little play where he dumps it off Crossman, looking for his first read, looking for the quick out. Bears went single safety, and it's really all you can do. It's really, he's in a bind right there when you look at John Bostic. Does he play the out or come back to the backside and play that hook up over the middle by Michael Rivera?
The Raiders go with two tight ends. There's Rashad Jenkins, and he stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Nice penetration up front. Jonathan Bostic with another solid play in the middle for the Bears.
You know, for being a rookie linebacker, and he's watched a ton of tape on Brian Urlacher. That's what it really is for young guys, read and recognition. And for him to recognize, run that early, explodes to the line, makes the play, and he's going to continue to grow and going to continue to get better. And that's really the decision for the Bears as a head coaching staff. He's played so well. Do you go with the mistakes, or do you come back and start the veteran in DJ Williams?
On third down, Isaiah Fry is in as the fifth defensive back. Flynn swings it out to Jenkins. He is hit by Briggs and brought down short of the first down marker. Major Wright coming in to finish it off, but Briggs with a good play on Rashad Jenkins.
Just the read and recognition again. This is a 10-year linebacker now. He reads it as soon as he sees the wide route. He's out there to get it. He knows the quarterback's just looking for a quick dump off. He breaks on the play and makes the tackle. He's really stepped up as a leader. A lot of those young linebackers are losing or getting some good information from Lance Briggs. Good leader.
Devin Hester is back deep to receive the punt of Marquette King, rookie punter, with a strong leg. Good high kick. And it comes down in the end zone. Strong leg by Marquette King. 55-yard punt, but it nets only 35. Here comes Jay Cutler to lead the offense on the field for the first time. No score in the game. Bears first possession. Jay Cutler at quarterback. Roberto Garza the center. Bears come out with three tight ends. Martellus Bennett, Fendi Anabun, and Steve Mederi hand it off to Matt Forte, who turns the corner and gets about 7 on the play. Check out the Bears offense. As we mentioned, Roberto Garza is the center, but the leader is Jay Cutler at quarterback. Martellus Bennett will see a lot of action. He wants the football. Forte and Fiametta, the fullback when they use the fullback. Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall, the receivers. The offensive line, the two rookies on the right side. Number 1 draft pick Kyle Long. Number 5 pick Jordan Mills. 2nd and 3. And here's Forte cutting it back, getting up close to the first down line, about a half-yard short. Nick Roach, the former Bear, who spent 6 years in a Bears uniform, number 53, signed a big contract with the Raiders to be their starting middle linebacker.
Yeah, and offers them flexibility because Miles Burris was a pretty good tackler last year as well, but he can play strong side and middle. They've elected to play him where Rolando McClain used to roam the position, and he's a very productive player for the Bears, and he'll be a great player for the Oakland Raiders.
3rd and less than a yard. Fiametta is in at fullback for the Bears. Forte, the running back, short dropped, and the pass caught by Alshon Jeffrey, who turns it upfield. Nice play by Jeffrey. He slipped on the dirt portion of the infield here at the Oakland Coliseum and turned it into a 22-yard gain.
Yeah, I like how Jay Cutler back-shouldered him. He really puts it on his backside hip to allow Alshon Jeffrey to really just rotate out of it and turn and take it upfield. It's tough. I played on this infield before. It's like roller skates if you got the 7-stud cleats in, but Alshon Jeffrey, we said he was going to be a big target tonight. Already focus on him with that big play on the slant route.
Into Raiders territory at the 49, 2 tight ends in. Cutler gets time and throws, completes for Martellus Bennett. And a pickup of 16 down to the 33-yard line. Good pass and good protection up front for Cutler.
More ebb and flow. More needed be seen tonight by head coach Mark Trestman. What we mean by that is nothing's game planned again, but they're going to spread the weapons around, spread the targets around, throw more intermediate passes, throw more down the field throws to see if that young line can pass protect when Jay Cutler needs to sit in the pocket a lot longer. Good job, good protection, good execution by the Bears.
Fiametta back in at fullback. It's Forte turning the corner and brought down as he gets down to the 27-yard line by Nick Roach, a pickup of 6. The Bears moving the ball very nicely here.
And I think we were getting a look at some positions tonight that are on the line. Tony Fiametta, you mentioned a dinosaur position like fullback. We also saw Fendi Anabun early to start the drive. So these guys are competing what could be for some spots on the team. And you look at Fendi Anabun, he's a very interesting guy. And he says has the want to be the blocker, but still Mark Trestman is evaluating these 2 players, which could be potential fullbacks for this team.
Spread formation, 2 tight ends, both split out, Anabun and Martellus Bennett. That pass knocked away and falls incomplete, almost intercepted. Good coverage by the first-round draft pick of the Oakland Raiders, DJ Hayden, on Brandon Marshall. What a matchup that is. Hayden was picked 12th overall by the Raiders.
Yeah, and here the Raiders traded down to get him, and he had that injury that you mentioned. Look at that's what he's known for out of Houston. His man-to-man the breaking on the ball, and a pretty good receiver in Brandon Marshall. Would like Jay Cutler to get that ball a little bit further ahead of the receiver, but they're still looking at a very makeable third and short here.
Terrence Tolliver is in as a 3rd wide receiver for the Bears, number 81. Everybody out. Cutler throws it. It's dropped by Brandon Marshall. Surprising. That was well thrown. It was right there. Marshall dropped the football.
You don't see that very often when he just goes through the breadbasket. Wide open. Jay delivers a strike. He's got to make the play. He knows it. Jay knows it. Everybody in the stadium knows it, and that's one he's not going to sleep too well on tonight.
Robbie Gould comes out to attempt a field goal. The long snapper with Patrick Manley injured is number 48, Brandon Hartson, a rookie out of Houston. This is a 45-yard attempt off the infield dirt. Adam Podlesh to Holder. And Gould puts it right through. Boy, he's money. The Bears start from their own 20. Had a good drive going, but a couple of drops hurt the offense, and they settle for 3. The Chicago Bears Network is proud to present Inside the Bears, a new weekly magazine show debuting this fall on Fox 32 Chicago and My 50 Chicago. Hosted by former Bear Anthony Adams and Lindsey Petruni. Inside the Bears, brought to you by Jimmy John's, runs year-round starting September 14th. Robbie Gould, a 45-yard field goal. There's our Ford scoring drive. 8 plays, 53 yards. I thought Jay Cutler looked real good on that drive.
Yeah, really stepped up and made the throws, the correct reads, every one of them. Delivered the ball, did put it where he needed to put it. And I just think feels comfortable in the pocket.
Joshua Cribbs on the return. The ball came loose, but recovered by the Raiders. And they'll start from the 21-yard line. Good coverage on special teams. Mark Trestman loves his special teams so far.
Lou Cannell is back in Oakland, where the Bears have taken a 3-0 advantage. Jay Cutler, as Jim Miller and Sam Rosen said, looked very comfortable there on that first drive. Last week, he answered his critics tonight. Those who said he didn't spread the ball around enough on that first drive guy, he threw to 3 different receivers. Sam and Jim?
Thanks, Lou. Rashad Jennings carries on first down, picks up 3, 1 change on the defense for the Bears. Shea McClellan, first-round draft pick last year, is in at defensive end for Corey Wooten. I think we'll see a lot of rotation at that position.
Yeah, you and I talked last night to head coach Mark Trestman. He said those two are battling out, Wooten and Shea McClellan. It is not settled yet. They like the versatility of Corey Wooten, who can kick down on third downs as a defensive tackle, but by no means is that competition over at the defensive end spot.
Blitz coming, and Jennings taking the handoff is thrown for a loss. Good play up front by Julius Peppers. Loss of 2.
So strong, so big, so physical. When you're 6'7", 290, I mean, his strength is just unbelievable. Look at him just beat the end man on the line of scrimmage, beats him across his face inside just to blow it up. Nate Collins showing again too there.
Yeah. Coaches have been real careful with his practice time. Anytime he's felt a little bit of a twinge, they pulled him back a little bit. They want him healthy for the season. Here's 3rd and 9 for the Raiders. Flynn with time, throws outside, and Jennings comes up with a football. Tim Jennings with the interception. Great play by Jennings.
Well, you look at it on this play. The Bears bring the blitz to the weak side. Flynn reads it, see the two-back, see Lance Briggs coming. It's just an errant throw. It looks like Flynn thinks his receiver is going to hook it up early. And Tim Jennings, what can you say? Pro Bowl last season, 9 interceptions. He led the National Football League. He's got a nose for the football. And listen to the viewers out there. He is the smallest guy on the Bears roster.
That's right.
But yet his leaping ability, his athleticism, cat quick, and reacts to the football.
And you saw the athleticism right there with that diving play. And the Bears have it 1st and 10 at the Raiders 32. Michael Bush, the former Oakland Raider, is in the backfield, number 29. Bush, who played 5 years here with the Raiders, and in 2011 had an outstanding year, rushing for over 900 yards. Matt Forte is also in the lineup. He shifts into the backfield. Everybody out, swing it out to Forte, and turns it into a big gainer. Forte heading for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown. Superb play by Matt Forte, taking the little swing pass, turning it into a touchdown.
Well, look at this. You talk about mismatches in the National Football League. That's what it is. Because here's Matt Forte right here. Look at him, Kevin. Look at Kevin Burnett. That's the linebacker, 94. That's what matchups are in the National Football League. Running back on linebacker who's older, doesn't have the quicks of Matt Forte. And look at the pony backfield, because they had Michael Bush and Matt Forte in the lineup. That's a pony backfield. Who are you going to cover? Both of them are good receivers. Kevin Burnett, mismatch on that play on the swing route.
Interesting to see the Bears use different formation and different personnel groupings.
And there it is right there. Look at Matt Forte. Look, quick move. 10-0, Chicago Bears.
The team that provided Bears legends George Halas, Red Grange, and Dick Butkus is coming to Chicago. It's Fighting Illini football at Soldier Field, Saturday, September 14th, against the Washington Huskies. Get tickets at fightingillini.com. There's the Ford scoring drive after the Tim Jennings interception. One play, 32 yards on the pass from Cutler to Forte, and Forte taking it in. This is Jacoby Ford, who's missed the last year and a half with injuries, coming back, breaking one. Only the kicker to beat, and finally they catch him and bring him down from behind. What a run by Jacoby Ford.
And hey, you're right, he's been injured. They have missed his explosive nature for the Oakland Raiders. I mean, when your tight end was your leading receiver a year ago, it's because all the receivers were hurt. Jacoby Ford has that type of explosive ability. They just need to keep him healthy.
In 2010, his rookie season, he was a terrific receiver, had 3 returns for touchdowns. He was an outstanding return man. Zach Bowman with the tackle to bring him down at the Bears' 38-yard line, a 62-yard return for Jacoby Ford. So now the Raiders with great field position. Rashad Jennings, the running back. Marcel Reese, the fullback, splits out. Flynn being rushed. He's wrapped up on the blitz by Charles Tillman. Mel Tucker likes to sneak those blitzes in there.
Well, it's a good job by the Chicago Bears responded. Here the Oakland Raiders get the change of momentum. Now listen to that hit. Here they get to change the momentum, and now they get aggressive and blitz the corner. And Peanut Tillman, again, that's young quarterback play by Matt Flynn. He did not recognize it. He's got to get the ball out of his hand. And credit Peanut Tillman. Just goes in there and lays a big hit on Matt Flynn, the quarterback.
Loss of 7 on the play. Corey Wooten is in at left defensive end for the Bears, continuing that defensive end rotation. Draw play to Rashad Jennings. He's slowed down by Briggs, breaks away, and gets down to the Bears' 40-yard line, close to the 40. A pickup of 5 on the play. Isaiah Fry making the tackle. It'll bring up a 3rd and 12 for the Raiders.
Well, you and I had a good conversation last night with defensive line coach Mike Fair. They call it the finish reel, or no cigar reel, I should say. Almost no cigar. The idea of it is to finish plays, finish a series, finish a half, finish a game. And right now, the Bears so far in the preseason, they've been finishing and taking those words to heart by their defensive line coach.
On 3rd and long, the pitch outside to Demarius Moore, and Moore takes it down to the 31-yard line.
Not throwing the ball down the field very much.
No.
Just a little wide receiver screen to the inside slot receiver, and Bears are playing zone. You just got to rally up, make the tackle, and again, they tackle him short of the first down.
So the Raiders will attempt a 49-yard field goal. The 14-year veteran Sebastian Janikowski, one of the all-time greats, to try it, and he hooks it wide to the right. So the Bears defense with a good job stopping the Raiders after they had great field position on the 62-yard return, and they keep the Raiders off the board. Back here in Oakland, the Bears with a 10-0 lead. Charles Tillman with a big sack on Matt Flynn. Set the Raiders back. Bears take over from their 39-yard line. 2 tight ends in. Steve Mederi and Martellus Bennett. The running back is Matt Forte. Forte with a couple of blockers. Turns the corner. Turns it into a good run. Picks up another block from Brandon Marshall. The Bears wide receivers are big and strong blockers. A 35-yard run by Matt Forte.
Well, you just look at the personnel groupings. Look, they pull Matt Slauson to the outside. He gets the big cut block there. And Forte he has got a wide open lane to the outside. But credit the pulling guard and credit both Martellus Bennett, all the receivers for the Bears. They're doing a great job on the outside. Look at Brandon Marshall all the way across the field, getting in the block right before the play gets or Forte gets tackled.
Down to the Raiders' 26-yard line, 1st and 10. Fendi Onabon in as the second tight end. Cutler being pressured for Onabon, who drops it. Fendi Onabon is a good athlete, a former basketball player, but we saw him in Carolina drop a pass in the end zone. He's struggled to hold on to the football.
Well, this is why he's bounced around the NFL. It's the inconsistency. It's not that he's not willing. Mark Trestman told us last night he wants to block. He wants to be a great player, but he just hasn't played enough football. He's got to be put in those positions more, and this is why we've seen Maneri in the game. We've seen Fendi Onabon in the game. They're having these players compete, and they're giving them every opportunity to make this roster in Chicago.
3 wide receivers, 2 backs. Screen pass to Forte. Looking for some blocking, doesn't get it. And he's brought down at the 26-yard line. No gain on the play. Call Star NFL. That's star 635 to get NFL Mobile from Verizon, the official wireless provider of the Chicago Bears. Airtime, message, and data rates may apply. 3rd and long for the Bears, just under 10. They bring in 3 wide receivers. Terrence Tolliver, number 81, is in. Cutler gets protection and throws, and it's complete for a first down to Alshon Jeffrey. He's out of bounds. Pulled out of bounds at the 13-yard line.
And has time to throw the football down the field to convert the 3rd down. Look, that's a blitz play. It's man-on-man on the outside for a little out route. And look at Alshon Jeffrey. He wins. He beats man-to-man coverage. But look at all the time in the pocket. Was Jay Cutler fading back? He was sitting there, good base, wasn't panicking at all, delivers a strike to the outside.
And the Bears in the Sports Authority red zone at the 13-yard line. Michael Bush is in at running back. The former Raider takes it, powers straight ahead inside the 10. They'll spot it just across the 10-yard line. He picked up 4 on the play. Michael Bush, who gives the Bears some much-needed security at the running back position. He's a solid, hard running back. See the numbers in his career.
Well, if I'm Bears fans, I'm still excited about the last play because the blitz was over the rookie right side of the Bears offensive line. They knew their assignments. They picked it up, gave Jay Cutler all day to throw the football.
Fiametta's in at fullback, 2 backs. Straight ahead, Bush with a big opening. He takes it in. Touchdown. Great blocking up front, and once again the power back, Michael Bush, straight ahead, goes into the end zone, 10-yard run, and the Bears open up a 16-0 lead.
Well, straight lead play, and Fiametta is the lead blocker. That's 2 weeks in a row, folks. Look at last week in San Diego. He led Matt Forte's touchdown with a good lead block. So Fiametta making a good case for the fullback position, but the wiggle. For Michael Bush, as big as a back as he is, he's got great wiggle. He's a great athlete, takes it in there for a touchdown.
Martellus Bennett shaken up on the play, being checked out by the trainers. So the Bears taking advantage of opportunities. Good drive of 61 yards, and Bush takes it in. You can send a question about the Bears to us here in the booth through Twitter by using the hashtag CBNetwork. We might answer it on the air later on in the game. Michael Bush accepts congratulations. Robbie Gold sets up for the extra point try. And the Bears, with an outstanding first quarter, lead it 17-0. They've done a lot of good things. They've run the football, passed it well. Here's the Ford scoring drive after the missed Janikowski field goal. 6 plays, 61 yards. And Michael Bush with the 10-yard run. And Kyle Long accepting congratulations along the sideline. Strong blocking up front by the Bears.
They really have done a great job. You're probably right. They've relieved a lot of anxiety among Bears fans. I mean, they've done it all. They've run the football well. They've hit a lot of different targets. New weapons are getting displayed, like Martellus Bennett. We've seen Alshon Jeffrey, seen Matt Forte basically take a little swing pass to the house for a touchdown, and then running the football to finish that last drive. That was a pounded play, and the Bears have had good run blocking and good pass protection. So right now, they've answered every question they've wanted answered.
I think some people will say that the Raiders are certainly one of the lower echelon teams, a team in transition. They've shaken up their roster, and they were only 4-12 last year and still trying to turn things around. However, the Bears, when you look at their play, they're being very efficient offensively and doing a lot of good things, running the football and throwing the football. Jacoby Ford is deep again, had the great run back last time. This time from 9 yards deep, he takes a knee under the guidance of Marcel Reese. So the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. Great start to the game for the Bears on both sides of the football as Julius Peppers leads the defense back onto the field. A lot of positive signs, Jim.
There are a lot of positive signs. And again, you're right. The Raiders are a very young team. They're young at quarterback. They're young at a lot of positions, even defensively. They've got 9 new starters defensively. But the Bears, in my estimation, if they get some offensive accountability, you are talking about a playoff team. They have looked the part during the preseason defensively. Now, if they continue their offensive accountability, they'll be just fine.
Lance Briggs with an outstanding play as he takes care of Rashad Jennings. No gain on the play. We go down to the field to Lou Canellis.
Sam, here's the update on Bennett. He's okay. Got poked in the eye. Nothing wrong. He should be back out there when the Bears are back on offense.
Thanks very much, Lou. Lou Canellis roaming the sidelines for us. Keep us up to speed on what's happening on the Bears side. 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. Shea McClellan in at left defensive end. This is Rashad Jennings. Gets a couple of yards on the play. Once again, good play up front led by Jonathan Bostic, the middle linebacker, with another strong play. Watch Fox 32 News at 9. Connected to what you care about. First roster cuts coming up by Tuesday, 3 p.m. Teams have to get down to 75. That's Aaron Cromer, the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, who's been outstanding and was a former assistant coach here in Oakland. Out of the shotgun, Flynn throws and completes it to Moore. And a good gain up to the 44-yard line, 23 yards. Tim Jennings takes down Denarius Moore.
Really a tough play for safety.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 69 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, third down.
That's the veteran Khalif Barnes.
Yeah.
Well, they had him off the line of scrimmage.
It wasn't that far off. I mean, the tackles are always going to try to cheat because of the speed, and it just tells you it respects Shea McClellan and his speed at the defensive end position.
First penalty of the game. Corey Wooten, you see in on these obvious passing downs. Wooten will move inside. McClellan will play the outside on the defensive line to get an increased pass rush.
Yeah, and we talked to Corey Wooten last night. He said it's been a challenge inside, but he's keeping his pad levels low and playing a lot better.
They chased Flynn. Great pressure up front by Stephen Paya, who's gotten more penetration thus far in training camp and preseason.
A lot of productivity by the Bears defensive line. And again, you see Corey Wooten get in there, Paya. And again, for those defensive tackles, we call it the NASCAR package. When you're able to put 3 defensive ends out there with Julius Peppers, who's basically like a 4. I mean, to get your defensive tackle to get the one-on-one and Paya to make the most heat, that's impressive.
Devin Hester back at his own 36. Chris Kluwe, the former Minnesota Viking who was signed this preseason, is in to punt. Trying to kick it away from Hester. Bounces it down. Hester picks it up on the big bounce. Looking for some room. Picks up some space. Here comes Hester. And he's brought down across midfield. The ever-dangerous Devin Hester with a 19-yard return after a 51-yard punt.
It's tough fielding on that dirt infield. Like I said, it's like you're on roller skates. Gets his footing once he's on the grass, makes a guy miss. Just the cat quickness of Devin Hester. Now with his refocus just in the returns, I think he's going to have a special year. The Bears special teams have looked very good in the preseason.
There was a hold on the return that will set the Bears back. Terry McCauley is our referee. As they look for the spot, we are late in the first quarter. It's been an outstanding first quarter for the Bears. Important dates in the NFL roster cut down. The first cut down to 75 comes this coming Tuesday, and then after the final preseason game, it's the roster cut down to 53 players, and as of September 1st, clubs can set their practice squads of 8 players. Martellus Bennett is back in, as Lou Canellis said he would be. The ball is back to the 24-yard line. Cutler fakes the handoff, rolling, and throws to Kyle Adams, who's in as a second tight end. Gets about a yard, give him 2 yards on the play, up across the 25.
And that's for Kyle Adams. It's big for him because he's the movement guy. Again, the fullback position. Is it Fiametta? Is it Kyle Adams? These are the decisions they have to make.
We've come to the end of the first quarter. An outstanding first quarter for the Bears. Matt Forte with a little pass that he turned into a 32-yard touchdown. Bears lead it 17-0. Back in Oakland, getting ready for the second quarter. Jim, let's take a look at your North Shore playbook.
Peanut Tillman on the outside, sees Marcel Reese, the fullback, cross his face, so he elects to blitz, and he gets the big sack. Yeah, look at that. Nice hit. Finishes the play. Exactly what we're talking about from defensive coordinator Mel Tucker.
Underway second quarter with the Bears leading 17-0. Cutler was 6 for 9 in the first quarter. Out of the shotgun. Cutler with time connects with Alshon Jeffrey, who's having a good game. The ball up close to the 35. It's enough for the first down.
Well, again, the slant route is a staple in a West Coast offense. It's hitting that guy in stride. And for Alshon Jeffrey, he's in between the hole of the corner and the will backer, just enough to make a positive play before he gets tackled.
Cutler 7 for 10, 94 yards. Alshon Jeffrey 3 catches, 43 yards. Second-year man, you can see big improvement in Alshon Jeffrey. From the 35, Martellus Bennett motions. Everybody out. Cutler with time. And the throw is low, intended for Alshon Jeffrey.
Now, I don't think Jay Cutler liked what he saw down the field. He could have zipped it a little bit higher and could have forced it a little bit, but I kind of like it as a throwaway. I don't think he felt comfortable with the throw. I think he saw Kevin Burnett, the weak side linebacker, come into his picture, and why he threw the ball into the dirt to protect his wide receiver.
Mark Trestman has been getting the plays in very quickly to Jay Cutler. And Cutler talked to us about that last night.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility at the line of scrimmage, what we call kill packages. Could be one play or kill it to another play. And so he feels very good with the flexibility that Mark Trestman's getting him.
Marquise Wilson, number 10, in as a third wide receiver for the Bears on 2nd and 10. Cutler with time. It's off the hands of Martellus Bennett. Incomplete. It'll bring up a 3rd and long. Get your day off to a good start. Watch Good Day Chicago. Weekday mornings beginning at 4:30 a.m. on Fox 32. 3 drops in the game for the Bears. That might be the biggest negative.
Yeah, but it also gives the Bears an opportunity to check their 3rd and long pass protection right here. So, yeah, you want to see them execute every play, but let's see how the pass protection is here on 3rd and long.
Cutler pointing out possible blitz from the linebacker. Everybody out. Cutler in trouble. Breaks free. Good run by Jay Cutler, and he slides down at the 47-yard line.
And that's fine for the Chicago Bears. Look, even they did do a delayed blitz by the linebacker, but it gets picked up by Matt Forte. Look at him sting the linebacker right there. Jay Cutler sees that the middle of the field's open. Hey, Rich Gannon did that for years. Great scrambler. Jay Cutler has this type of ability and probably better legs and is faster than Rich Gannon. So that's a great decision by Jay Cutler because he stepped up in the pocket, climbed up in the pocket, and then saw he could take off.
On 1st down, Cutler a 13-yard run, throws this one away. Had some pressure and rolled out of the pocket and threw it away. There you see Marquise Wilson. Coach is taking a very close look at him. He's played on special teams, just 20 years old, rookie out of Washington State, 7th round draft pick. And I think the coaches would really like it if he could find a way onto this team.
Yeah, giving him every opportunity. And he's a tall, another lanky receiver. Great run after the catch ability. Left Washington State the all-time receiving leader in terms of yardage. And he scores touchdowns. In 33 games, scored 23 during his career. So very productive player.
3 wide receivers in. On 2nd and 10. Cutler gets time, throws, and completes it up across the Raiders' 40-yard line, completing it to Marquise Wilson.
Deep in cut right there.
There he is out of Washington State. All-time leader in receiving at Washington State. 2 tight ends in, Kyle Adams and Martellus Bennett. Ball at the Raiders' 38-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bears. Adams lined up as a fullback. Forte bouncing it outside, makes it a good run of 9 yards down to the 29-yard line. DJ Hayden, 1st-round draft pick of the Raiders, made the tackle. But Matt Forte showing you all elements as to why he's one of the most versatile backs in the NFL.
Well, I think, one, he's got great vision. He's underrated for his vision. That play was really a strong side run play. He saw it open up and just ended up cutting it to the backside. Hey, he has 1 Pro Bowl back in 2011, and this guy's a very productive player, both catching and running the football.
And he bounces it back the other way. Great field reversal by Matt Forte. He takes it down to the 12-yard line, a pickup of 17 on the play.
Well, in order for a running back to have the ability to bounce, look at the offensive line getting the push. So it allows the running back to have that cutback lane. And I think that's one thing we've seen with Aaron Cromer in the offensive line. Not that you're going to blow everybody off the ball, but minimum create stalemates so the running back can have the vision to cut it back to the backside if need be.
A 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Michael Bush now in the game at running back, giving Forte a breather. 3 wide receivers in the game. Here's Bush straight ahead. He had a 10-yard touchdown run earlier. Picks up a yard on the play. C.O. Moore, 3rd-round draft pick rookie out of UConn, made the tackle. Watch Bears on demand exclusively from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Good drive for the Bears, which started at their own 24-yard line. This is the 11th play of the drive. 3 wide receivers in. Out of the shotgun. Quick slant in. Alshon Jeffrey to the goal line, and he is just short. He is brought down just short of the goal line.
Good job hitting Alshon Jeffrey on the run there. Has Bennett on the corner route, and you look at Marshall cleared out as well. Just a little hole right underneath there. They have to respect Marshall. He pushes the inside cover guy off a little bit to allow just a little lane for Alshon Jeffrey. Comes up just shy of the goal line.
Cutler 9 for 15. 1st and goal for the Bears inside the 1. 3 tight ends in. It's Bush straight ahead. Cutler thinks he's in. The officials have not given the sign yet. No signal yet down at the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Michael Bush. His 2nd of the game. And the Bears widen the lead.
They've shown every single facet of their offense. 3rd and longs, goal line situations, short yardage. Look, that's just leg power, having the drive to push it in, and he's under the pile right there. That's a nice job by Michael Bush, wanting it, getting it over the goal line.
What a great drive for the Bears. A 12-play drive where they mixed it up beautifully.
I just think I'm big on sideline etiquette, and that's what Mark Trestman has talked about through the whole training camp for the Chicago Bears. Getting in and out of situations. Could be goal line, then it could be 3 wides, then it could be 2 tights. It's 3rd and long. Let's get our receivers out there. They're very good at substitutions and on the same page.
Outstanding first half thus far for the Chicago Bears. They have opened up a 24-0 lead. Michael Bush, the former Oakland Raider, has scored 2 touchdowns. They love it on the Bears sideline. Amongst the Raider fans, the Bears fan is having the best time. Bears with a big lead. The Chicago Bears Network is home to your official Bears pregame show. Join Luke Canellis, Jeff Joniak, and Tom Thayer for Bears Game Day Live, brought to you by Advocate Healthcare, every Sunday morning at 10:30 during the season on Fox 32. That is quite a team. Canellis, Joniak, and Thayer. I'll let you know what's going on with the Bears. Robbie Gould kicks it off. Jacoby Ford backs up 8 yards deep, and he brings it out. Ford with good speed is brought down short of the 15-yard line. Nice coverage by the Bears. There's a flag on the play. We'll check that out. That time, real good coverage by the Bears, who had Jacoby Ford break one on them earlier in the game.
During the turn, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 55. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
So the Raiders will be set back inside their own 10-yard line. Bears with the big lead, and have done a lot of good things on both sides of the football. That guy stole my hat. Bears 24, Raiders nothing.
Jay Cutler told us yesterday that Alshon Jeffrey's been the most impressive player in training camp, and why not? For 6 weeks during this offseason, he worked out with Brandon Marshall at Marshall's training facility in Florida. He's a better pass route runner this season, and he's leaner, dropping his body fat down to 8%. Guys?
Thanks, Lou. And Alshon Jeffrey's had a strong game. 2 of his 4 catches have come on 3rd downs for 1st down and extended drives. 9-yard pickup on the scramble by Matt Flynn. The Raiders starting from their own 7. Corey Wooten and Shea McClellan are now the defensive ends. McClellan playing the right side. Julius Peppers is out of the game. Zach Minter is in at defensive tackle for Nate Collins. On 2nd and 1, Rashad Jennings gets a first down up to the 19-yard line. James Anderson makes the stop.
Rashad Jennings for a Raiders first down.
So the Raiders pick up a first down. Bears bringing in a couple of players that they want to look at, like Zach Minter, a defensive tackle, an undrafted free agent rookie out of Montana State.
Well, he's an interesting guy because he's got the high motor. You want him as a 3 technique. That's really his best spot. But listening to Mike Fair, the defensive line coach, they want to try him at the 1 technique, what he's lined up at on this play.
Flynn dropped the ball, picks it up, being chased by Bostic, and they've got him. Brought down at the 20, actually picked up a yard on the play, but that play broke down on the snap when Flynn dropped the ball. Bostic, very, very active.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go back to Zach Minter because he's on the center of the Oakland Raiders. When you look at Zach Minter, here's the reason why. It's great play by Jonathan Bostic on this broken play by Matt Flynn. He's got to get the snap, but it's Zach Minter who forces the center, and it looked like it was a short snap. He's got to learn to play the 1 technique. Here's why. That's where he has to take on double teams. They need to see that from the Bears to see if he's a guy they keep on this roster.
Blitz coming by Chris Conte, but a good job up front, led by Jonathan Bostic. Stopped that play before it got anything going. Looks like they'll spot it at the 21-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Raiders. And again, we point out that Mel Tucker, the new defensive coordinator, not afraid to throw in these safety blitzes here and there.
Well, he wants to get it all on tape, so teams got to prepare for it. And we've seen nickel blitzes. We've seen the mug look by the linebackers. We've seen some straight press man coverage, and they have really thrown out the whole kitchen sink at offenses so far this preseason.
5 defensive backs in. The pass is intercepted by Isaiah Fry. He just wrestled it away from the receiver. Great play by the 5th defensive back. He was in on the play, and they're slapping high fives in the defensive booth for the Chicago Bears. Well, Isaiah Fry with a big play.
He was high-fiving Chris Harris right there up in the booth. We look at Mel Tucker. He should be excited. This young man just continues to make plays. You know, some guys we've gone to training camp where they come away like all Olivet Nazarene. He shows up in the games. He's made plays through every training camp practice, and he's made plays consistently for the Chicago Bears during these preseason games. So he's building confidence, and the Bears should be very excited about their 2nd-year player from Nevada.
2 takeaways by the Bears in the game. 2 interceptions. Tim Jennings and Isaiah Fry at the Raiders 35. Cutler rolling everybody out, looking down the field, throws it low, and it's juggled and dropped by Brandon Marshall.
Now it's a little bootleg to really change the launch point of the pocket and get Jay on the edge. And normally, again, it's a low throw, but Brandon Marshall has to haul that in. I think he would agree with that. He's got a couple drops on the night. I mean, you don't worry. His credentials, he's going to make the play on game day, but he's having a frustrating night so far.
Jay Cutler has had 7 incompletions in the game. 4 of them have been dropped passes. Terrence Tolliver, number 81, in as a 3rd wide receiver. Movement on the line.
Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That may be the first pre-snap penalty for the Bears here in preseason.
Yeah, they haven't had too many delays when you look at the Bears. And, you know, right now he's a young player. We know he's a rookie. But here's what they're excited about. Aaron Cromer, the offense coordinator, and the head coach, Mark Trestman, bad plays do not bother this young man. He's able to move on. He plays within himself. What he means by that is he's not the greatest athlete, but he knows what he does well, and that's what he's going to do. And when he makes a mistake, he's going to move on. If he starts as a rookie, the Bears know he's going to make mistakes, and he's got to continue to improve and move on from it.
With some confusion on a 2nd and 15, Bears call a timeout.
Score Miller Lite Beer Scare. Visit your local retailer now through November 15th for more details. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time.
Sam Rosen, Jim Miller, Luke Canellis here in Oakland. Bears with a 2nd and 15 at the Raiders' 40-yard line. 3 wide receivers in. Terrence Tolliver, the number 3 wide receiver. Cutler with an audible at the line. Cutler with some time, lofts it up for Martellus Bennett, and he's got it with a great catch. No, he did not hold on. It looked like, I thought he had it, but he dropped it as he went to the ground, covered by the linebacker, Kevin Burnett.
Yeah, it's really a good read by Jay Cutler at the line of scrimmage. Reason why, he sees it's will-free safety, so he redirects the Mike backer for the offensive line. They pick up. Now Michael Bush goes out and picks up Charles Woodson, the blitzer. Oh, almost hauled that in. He's too good of an athlete. He expects to make that play when you look at Martellus Bennett, but that's a great one-on-one read and blitz beater by Jay Cutler.
There's a 3rd and 15. Bush is the running back in the backfield with Cutler. 3 wide receivers. Blitz coming. Cutler lofts it up again, one-on-one for Brandon Marshall, but it was underthrown, and I don't think Marshall ever picked up the ball at all. He was covered by DJ Hayden on the play.
Yeah, again, all-out blitz, or at least there was a lot of pressure on that play. Don't know if it was all-out blitz, but I think Brandon Marshall lost it in the lights. Couldn't see the ball at the end of the day.
First time the Bears have been unable to convert on offense, and Adam Podlesh is in to punt. They failed to take advantage of the interception and the good field position. Podlesh looking to bury it inside the 10, bounces it at the 8, and it is touchdown. No, it got into the end zone. Joe Anderson with a good effort, trying to keep it out of the end zone, but unable to do it. So it's a touchback, and the Raiders will start from the 20. Joe Anderson questioning the official about the touchback. There's Anderson down there, but I guess they ruled that he was in the end zone.
Chicago Bears preseason football is sponsored by Xfinity, Advocate Healthcare, McDonald's of Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana, and Chicagoland Cadillac dealers.
The Raiders start from the 20 with a new quarterback. Number 2 is Terrell Pryor, the former Ohio State star. A good running quarterback. 3rd year in the NFL, handing it off to Rashad Jennings for a pickup of 4 on the play. Let's check in down on the sideline with Lou Canellis. Lou, what's happening?
Sam, bad news first. Zach Bowman injured his hamstring. He is done for the night. Now the good news, Julius Peppers is also finished. Coach's decision, his hamstring is fine. He should be okay for next week.
He did his job very well in the time he was in. 2nd and 6 for the Raiders. Wooten and McClellan are the defensive ends. Pryor holding on, trying to turn the corner. Bostic with a good job to stay with him. You saw the athleticism of Jonathan Bostic to stay with the moves of Terrell Pryor.
Well, this is great practice for the Bears defense. They're going to play a couple spread option teams this year. 1, the Washington Redskins, and 2, the Philadelphia Eagles later in the year. And it's just good prep for that for the Chicago Bears. How do you play it? A lot of teams want to crash the defensive end down to take away the running back. Then you can scrape the linebacker, like right there, Jonathan Bostic. That way you've got athlete on athlete. Bostic, who can run, against Terrell Pryor, who can run pretty well himself for a quarterback.
And Anderson made the tackle. Loss of 5 on the play on 3rd and 11. Pryor throwing, overthrows. Chris Conte almost intercepted it. Couldn't hang on as there was a collision. As Conte went up, looked like he had it, but there was a big collision and the ball fell incomplete.
Bears have provided good pressure all night.
To the face. Offense number 77. Penalties decline. 4th down.
That was a penalty on Alex Barron, the left tackle, for illegal hands to the face. But the Raiders are forced to punt. The Bears have had 2 interceptions and almost had a 3rd one. Marquette King is back to punt. 2nd-year man out of Fort Valley State. And there is Devin Hester, who had a good 19-yard return earlier. King going short on the kick, bounces it down. Hester at the 34, steps out of bounds. at the 36. Hear all about what's happening with the Bears from those making it happen. It's the newest radio offering by the Chicago Bears Network, the Bears Coaches Show, brought to you by McDonald's. The show airs Monday nights at 6:30 all season long on WBBM News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM. A lot of great coverage of the Chicago Bears. Bears here have had an outstanding first half. Jay Cutler leads them to the line, to the 36-yard line. Two tight ends in, Martellus Bennett and Steve Maneri. This is Michael Bush, and ran into a wall and shoved back. Loss of a couple of yards on the play. Oh, a little pushing and shoving. Kyle Long in the middle of it with Jason Hunter, a veteran defensive end. It started with Steve Maneri, but it didn't take long for Kyle Long to get in the middle of things.
No, he's definitely one to mix it up, and he's going to stick up for his teammates. But again, that time, when you look at Maneri, Steve Maneri lined up in the backfield. Again, they're competing fullback. They want to see if these guys can move around. We've seen Fendi do it, Maneri, and also Kyle Adams for the Chicago Bears. So big competition to earn that roster spot.
Ball back at the 34. Cutler gets time, throws low. Alshon Jeffrey holding on. Good grab for a first down up at the 47-yard line. Pick up a 14, and what a game for Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, it's really, he's just going to take it up to the marker, chops his steps, loses his feet a little bit just due to being on the infield right there in the dirt. But Jay Cutler, that's a great read. He sees that Nick Roach, the linebacker, crosses his face, and then you just put it right there in the breadbasket. A little low, but he goes down and makes a catch for Alshon Jeffrey.
All at the 48. Hand off to Michael Bush. And Bush across midfield to the Raiders' 49-yard line. A pickup of 3 on the play. Alshon Jeffrey has really stepped up. We've been talking about him, but in our meetings last night with the Bears players and coaches, everyone raved about the preseason Alshon Jeffrey has had.
Yeah, well, just think about that play right there. It's a curl route, and for bigger receivers like Alshon Jeffrey, because, I mean, this guy's a big man now. When you're talking 6'3", can they chop their steps like that and get in and out of breaks? And for him to do that, still track the football, go low to get it, just tells you about his reaction time and what a good athlete he is. When receivers are tall like that, they have a tough time getting in and out of the breaks.
3 wide receivers in. That pass caught by Jeffrey again. He's got a first down at the Raiders' 37-yard line. His 6th catch of the game, a pickup of 12 on the play.
Off coverage, and they've consistently hit this slant route the whole preseason. Good steps by Jay Cutler. That's textbook right there. This young man's gaining confidence. They want him to be a good target, and they need him to be a big target opposite Brandon Marshall. Let's be honest, Brandon Marshall last year was 46% of the Bears' offense. That has to change, has to go down. Alshon Jeffrey has to be the answer to that.
6 catches, 78 yards for Alshon Jeffrey. 2 tight ends in, Maneri and Martellus Bennett. On first down at the Raiders' 38, and Cutler stepping back calls a timeout. Second timeout called by the Bears. A little over 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. It's been an outstanding first half for the Chicago Bears. Their running backs have scored all 3 of their touchdowns. This was a little swing pass to Matt Forte, turned into a 32-yard touchdown.
Nice block on the outside by Alshon Jeffrey. Heard his name a lot tonight.
And this is straight ahead. Michael Bush, 10-yard run. Good blocking up front.
Tony Fiametta getting it done at the fullback spot.
And that was the 1-yard run by Michael Bush. 2 touchdowns for the former Oakland Raider. You see the drives, an 8-play drive for a field goal, a 12-play, 76-yard touchdown drive. And the Bears have done an outstanding job. 3 wide receivers, Marshall, Jeffrey, and Joe Anderson, number 19, in the lineup. Off the play fake, quick outside to Jeffrey, and he stopped immediately. Good play by the Raiders defense. Brandon Ross, the safety, coming up to make the tackle on Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jermon Bushrod, the left tackle, he knows he's got to make that block, and if they get that block by Bushrod on the safety, I mean, that play could go right there. So there's even room for improvement. As well as the Bears have played, there's a lot of room for improvement. Remember the all-out blitz look where Jay Cutler redirected the offensive line to block, and they almost had a big play to Martellus Bennett.
We've come to the 2-minute warning. It's been a good first half for the Bears and Jay Cutler. They have a 24-0 lead, and they're in Raiders territory. 38-yard line with a big lead. Lou had mentioned earlier some of the players who are done for the night. It also looks like Matt Forte is done for the night, and a good night it was for him. 6 carries, 76 yards rushing, including a 35-yard run and 2 catches, 32 yards. One was the touchdown. 3 wide receivers in. Cutler working out of the shotgun with Michael Bush alongside. Bush carries and barrels his way down inside the 35 to the 34. A pickup of 4 on the play. Nick Roach made the tackle. The familiar name of Nick Roach. Quite a story, Nick Roach, who came into the NFL as an undrafted free agent. The Bears picked him up off the practice squad, and he turned out to be a regular for them and really turned into an outstanding player and signed a big contract with the Raiders.
Hey, he really helped the Bears last year in a pinch. Brian Urlacher went down late in the year after week 12. Nick Roach moved in the middle linebacker, did a fantastic job.
There's a 3rd and 6 for the Bears. Low snap. Cutler picks it up, tries to get away, but he's wrapped up and brought down at the 35-yard line.
Well, little bad snap right there. That's one that's got to be corrected for the Chicago Bears, but leads us to our Twitter question so far the first half, and this is from Dave White at DWhite3709. He says, Jim, isn't this the best the offense has looked collectively in a real long time? And I'd have to agree with you, Dave. I think they still have left some offense on the field like that last play, but I think they've accomplished a lot. Good pass protection for Jay Cutler, good running the football. They've created matchups, and they've scored. That's what you need to see. They've scored points when you look at the 24 points for Chicago.
The Raiders used a timeout here late in the first half, and the field goal kicking unit has come on. Robbie Gould will attempt a 53-yard field goal in the dirt portion of the field. This field, of course, is the stadium used by the Oakland A's. Adam Podlesh, the holder. The long snapper is Brandon Hartson from 53 yards out. Gould gets it away, and it's good. A beauty by Robbie Gould. Everything going right for the Bears here in the first half. The strong leg, and Robbie Gould says hello to his former teammate, Nick Roach. Robbie says, I still have that strong leg, Nick.
Hey, and it doesn't matter whether it's on grass, on dirt. I mean, he nailed that one. Look at that as he's on the infield there, and that's just textbook right there. Good form and follow through.
Again, positive signs for the Bears. Special teams, Robbie Gould, one of the leaders, and that strong leg looking real good here in preseason.
4th most accurate kicker. And let's remember, he's coming off of a calf surgery this offseason. He's been money the whole preseason. He nailed 4 field goals a week ago, so he's in midseason form right now.
Take a look at the Ford scoring drive. 8 plays, 29 yards, and Robbie Gould with a 53-yard field goal, his 2nd field goal of the game. Had one from 45 in the first quarter, and the Bears have a 27-0 lead. And Robbie Gould has made his last 10 attempts from 50 yards or more in regular season. So you see, he gets his practice in the preseason and still looking good. Robbie Gould to kick it off. Jacoby Ford will bring it back from the 1. And Ford brought down on a good tackle by Blake Costanzo. Jay Cutler's had a good first half.
Efficient, good footwork, back hip to Alshon Jeffrey. He's able to catch and run. Drills a shot right in the numbers. Good accuracy, and that's precision. How about that throw on the outside? Good pass protection versus the blitz. Now he makes a good decision. Aaron Cromer said step up in the pocket, step up. Now he steps up, sees the field, tucks the ball and runs. That's a great decision. That's precision play, and that's good quarterback play from Jay Cutler.
Terrell Pryor, the quarterback, out of the shotgun. The pass to the tight end over the middle, and a good play by James Anderson on Richie Gordon, the tight end. Hurry-up offense for the Raiders. Getting back to Jay Cutler, 12 for 21, 142 yards. And of those 9 incompletions, 5 were drops.
Yeah, had some drops. I thought he was very efficient tonight. But even with that said, there are a couple plays he could be even better. I mentioned the blitz. If he hits Martellus Bennett, that could have been a huge play from his standpoint, and they're looking for perfection for Mark Trestman.
Pryor running with it and gets out of bounds just short of the 40-yard line. Terrell Pryor, quite a different quarterback from Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn, your traditional pocket quarterback, and Pryor is the man with the good legs and running ability.
Saw him at Ohio State. He is sneaky quick for how big he is because he's got long strides. Very good runner, very athletic, has some mechanical issues throwing the football, but to energize this offense, and they're going to need it for the Raiders, I believe he plays in 2013.
False start. Flag was thrown. Play stops.
False start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on the center. Stefan Wisniewski called for the false start penalty. Brings it back to the 34-yard line. Again out of the shotgun. Stephen Paya back in at defensive tackle for the Bears, along with Nate Collins. Pryor gets time, throws deep and completes it to Gordon, the tight end, to the Bears 40-yard line. Major Wright in on the tackle. That's to Michael Rivera, the rookie tight end out of Tennessee, who made the catch.
Well, straight cover 2, that's a weakness. Nice throw right over Lance Briggs, outstretched arm, and good accuracy for Terrell Pryor there. That's the only place he could have put it, and he threw a strike on that one.
So the Raiders at the Bears 40 with 10 seconds remaining. Raiders have 1 timeout remaining. Watch Fox 32 News at 9, connected to what you care about. Make sure to watch our halftime festivities. Luke Canellis with a great feature on the new Bears head coach, Mark Trestman. Think you'll like it. Stay tuned for that. Bears with a 27-0 lead as we are 10 seconds away from halftime. Pryor checking off at the line. Bears showing blitz. Drop back in coverage. Pryor gets rid of it, and the pass is incomplete. Tim Jennings covering on the play with help from Major Wright. Jacoby Ford, the intended receiver, down to 5 seconds remaining.
It's a good reroute by Tim Jennings on the outside. See how he pushed the receiver to the sideline? It decreases the room. You're normally supposed to leave the quarterback like 2 yards bucket to throw to, but Tim Jennings just leaves no room for Terrell Pryor to complete that to Jacoby Ford.
And now we get a look at one of the all-time greats, Sebastian Janikowski, attempting a 58-yard field goal. He shares the NFL record. A couple of years ago, he hit from 63. And this one is good with plenty to spare. 58-yard field goal. What a leg by the 14-year veteran, Sebastian Janikowski. The Raiders get on the board at the end of the first half, but it was all Bears. A dominant performance in the first half. They lead the Raiders 27-3 at halftime. Welcome back to Chicago Bears preseason football. We are approaching the start of the second half. Great first half for the Bears. Sam Rosen along with Jim Miller and Luke Canellis, and the offense looked really good in that first half. Albeit the Raiders are a struggling team, but they got the job done.
Yeah, very efficient, 0 turnovers. How about this, Bears fans? No sacks. No sacks for the Bears. Imagine that. Very efficient. They scored. Finished drives. No turnovers. I thought it was an outstanding performance. They go into the season with a pretty high note with their starters right now.
And the defense did a lot of good things. We saw Julius Peppers in there. Jonathan Bostic, another strong first half.
Yeah, you look at these turnovers. The Bears continue to do it. There's an interception right there. Look at the sack. Peanut Tillman coming off the edge. He finishes that one. How about Jonathan Bostic? This guy making a case to be a starter as a rookie? Yeah, tracks that one down right there. Another good hit, and then there's the other Isaiah Fry interception. He has been outstanding for the Bears during the preseason.
Take a look at some of these first half statistics brought to you by Yokohama. Dominated by the Bears. First downs, rushing yardage led by Matt Forte. Passing yardage, Jay Cutler, outstanding. But how about 0 for 6 were the Raiders in third down conversions?
Yeah, Bears, that's where you got to be your stingiest on third downs. Again, young quarterbacks that you mentioned, and the Bears are doing a lot in the preseason with their blitzes, and Oakland certainly was having trouble with it with their young quarterbacks.
The Bears deferred on the kickoff at the start of the game. They will receive the kickoff to start the third quarter. And we'll see how Mark Trestman elects to play it with his lineup. And on the return is Devin Hester, gets across the 20, falls forward to the 22-yard line. And that's where the Bears will start the second half. And Josh McCown comes into the game to start the second half. So the coaching staff, no doubt, satisfied with Jay Cutler's first half performance.
Hit a lot of different targets, made all the right checks. There was a couple plays he could have finished and been better, but I thought very efficient for Jay Cutler. Even the nice scramble where he stepped up in the pocket, and that's what Aaron Cromer was talking about, where we climb up in the pocket as a quarterback to get in that sweet spot for your pass protection. And Jay Cutler had a good night, and they're going to shut him down, and they should.
They come in with two tight ends. Michael Bush, the running back, trying to find some room, but he slips and goes down at the 21, loss of a yard on the play. Josh McCown, the veteran backup, the number 2 quarterback coming into this season.
37 snaps a week ago for McCown just due to the injury to Matt Blanchard. And he's a good leader, performed well. Back, as we know, he was coaching high school football back in North Carolina, and the Bears have signed him. He's a good veteran to have, and I think Jay Cutler leans on him a lot. He is a very calming influence in the quarterback room.
Terrence Tolliver and Joe Anderson, the wideouts. The rush is on. McCown has to get rid of it and throws it away. Big rush by the linebacker, Kevin Burnett, the 8-year veteran out of Tennessee.
He didn't bite the play action fake at all. It's a little bootleg naked. Yeah, he was already breaking out the backside when you look at Burnett. He did not bite on the fake at all. That's a good throwaway from Josh McCown. That's what you need. Need good veteran leadership. The Bears are talented offensively. If Jay Cutler were to go down, they got a savvy veteran in Josh McCown who's heady to throw it away, like in that situation.
A couple of changes on the offensive line, but Jordan Mills and Kevin Long, the rookies on the right side, stay in. Taylor Boggs is the center, and here's McCown on third down, throwing and completing. Flags on the play. Eric Weems on the catch, and he's got enough for the first down, but holding on the Bears will bring it back. Bears had one penalty in the first half, and they draw this penalty for holding that negates what would have been a first down. Bears on the offensive line have Jamarcus Webb at left tackle, James Brown at left guard, Taylor Boggs is the center, Kyle Long the right guard, and Jordan Mills the right tackle.
Well, it's really about reps for both Jordan Mills and Kyle Long. The two rookies, they've gotten a lot of work, not only through training camp practices, but as they continue to play here tonight into the third quarter. They need to get as many looks and reps as they can, and that's why the Bears have elected to keep them in the ballgame.
3 wide receivers. Bears have to get to the 32 for a first down. Swing it out to Eric Weems. And the special teamer wide receiver. Weems is pulled out of bounds short of the 20-yard line. A pickup of 8. DJ Hayden on the stop. And the Bears will be forced to punt. Second punt of the game coming up. Eric Weems stays on the field. One of the key special teamers. Adam Podlesh is back to punt. Philip Adams is deep to receive for the Raiders. we'll see some changes as the coaches want to look at players who may have a chance to make this Bears team. Low kick toward the sideline by Podlesh, bounces down inside the 40 and stops at the 36-yard line. 44-yard punt, no return. The Chicago Bears Network presents Bears Game Night Live, brought to you by CDW, following the final word on Fox 32 every Sunday night during the regular season. Be sure to catch the special season preview edition Sunday, September 1st. Some great coverage of the Chicago Bears.
We batted it into the play. First down.
A penalty on the Bears added to the end of the play will give the Raiders the ball at the Oakland 41-yard line. Terrell Pryor, the number 2 quarterback, stays in the game. He came in the second quarter replacing the starter Matt Flynn. Rashad Jennings is the running back. Their number 1 running back, Darren McFadden, is held out of tonight's game.
Well, he struggled to stay healthy. When we look at Darren McFadden, he's probably one of their more dynamic players that the Raiders cannot afford to get hurt.
From the 42, Jennings bounces off one man, is brought down by Kyle Moore. The big defensive end, number 96, making the stop, a pickup of 6 on the play. Bears with changes on the defensive side now have
2nd and 5.
Ashton Whiteside, number 71, at one defensive end. Kyle Moore, number 96, at the other. Zach Minter stays in the game, number 76, at defensive tackle. And Christian Tupou, number 64, the other tackle. Here's Jennings slipping a tackle. Flag goes down as Jennings gets into Bears territory down to the 45.
Holding. Offense number 61. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That'll bring it back. They're gaining a good run. We'll pick up the rest of the defense to start this second half for the Bears. The linebackers, J.T. Thomas, number 97. Jonathan Bostic stays in at middle linebacker. He's getting lots of playing time and lots of reps. And the injury to D.J. Williams, the veteran middle linebacker brought in, doesn't seem to be getting better quickly. And it looks like that Jonathan Bostic will have to start the season.
Yeah, well, it's like anything else. He mentioned that he's left a lot of plays on the field. He's had some highlight reel plays.
There's Pryor on second down. Nobody open. The Bears, good coverage on the play. Slips one tackle and then gets rid of it, and it turns into a gainer. Turns into a first down. Terrell Pryor kept that play alive and found Rod Streeter, and Streeter took a big hit, and he's shaken up on the play.
Well, this is what we're talking about, the almost cigar reel that Mike Fair, the defensive line coach, was talking about. Terrell Pryor is nifty, though. But you look at the guys, you got to finish, you got to make that play. Kyle Moore got to make the tackle. Kasim Green, he's got to make the tackle. Finish the play is what they're trying to do. But
Terrell Pryor made it happen, keeping the play alive. Now some concern for Rod Streeter, the wide receiver of the Raiders. Bears with a big lead.
Expert teams exploring new treatments. At North Shore University Health System, excellence is all around you.
Back here in Oakland, Raiders with a first down at the Bears 44. A 19-yard pickup on that scrambling play by Terrell Pryor. Pryor swings it out to Rashad Jennings, slips one man, and is knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. A flag on the play. And we'll check that out. J.T. Thomas forcing Jennings out of bounds. Thomas, Bostic, and Green, the
Personal foul,
linebackers.
unnecessary roughness. Defense number 97, late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's called on J.T. Thomas. As you heard, referee Terry McCauley tacks on 15 on the play and gives the Raiders a first down at the Bears 25-yard line.
And they're going to call it. He's got to be a little bit headier in that situation, pull off, and he's coming off a pretty good game last week where he had a block punt and Those aren't the type of plays the coaching staff are looking for. Just got to play a little bit smarter and not get the big penalty.
Deepest penetration of the game for the Raiders into Bears territory. Nice play by Aston Whiteside as he wrapped up Jennings at the line of scrimmage. Time for our North Shore University Health System sideline report. Here's Lou Canellis.
All right, thanks very much, Sam, alongside Julius Peppers. First preseason action. How did it feel out there?
Felt good. You know, it felt good to get out there, get a feel for the speed of the game, get some game conditioning in. So it was a good start.
How's the hamstring?
It's fine.
How do you feel physically? I know that you said, you know what, I know I'm going to be 34 in January, but I feel like I'm 25.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm feeling good. You know, I had a little bit of off time this week with the had a little bit of rest time last week, so it was good to rest the hamstring, but like I said, it's feeling fine.
I know you were watching that play there as Pryor ran it into the end zone. What did you not like?
We got to contain better. You know, when you have a mobile quarterback like Terrell Pryor, you got to make sure you have rush lanes contained and everybody got to get to the ball. So, you know, I got to look at the film. I got to look at the cards and see what happened. But, you know, I didn't like the looks of that.
All right, I'll go let you look at the film. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks, Lou. Thanks to Julius Peppers. As you saw, Terrell Pryor once again, we talked about his mobility, his quickness, and able to turn nothing into something, and he turned that into a 25-yard touchdown run. So the Raiders have something to smile about as they get into the end zone for the first time in the game.
The Chicago Bears are presented by Chase, the official bank of the Bears since 1934.
Back here in Oakland, Bears lead cut to 27-10. Terrell Pryor taking it in on the scramble.
Yeah, I think for me, if you just look at Kyle Moore right here at the defensive end position, he gets upfield, he gets double teamed right here. They're doing the job. Look at the other pass rushers. They force Terrell Pryor to step up. Got to go with his legs. A scrambling quarterback like that, don't go for the high tackle. Just go in at Terrell Pryor's legs. Take his asset away from him.
Michael Ford on the return, bobbled it, brings it out. He had a 100-yard return last week against the Chargers. This time he is stopped up at the 13-yard line. The Bears with Josh McCown at quarterback head onto the field, deep in their own territory with a 27-10 lead. Up here in the booth, it's Miller time. Jim, what do you have for us?
Well, this is what I call assignment football. Defensive end crashes, takes away the running back. Now Bostic has to scrape, and you have athlete on athlete. Boom, takes it away. Athlete on athlete, makes the play. Nice job by Jonathan Bostic. That's how you stop spread option attacks with assignment football.
Michael Bush on first down is dropped for a 2-yard loss. Bears have their worst field position of the game. And Bush was stopped short of the line of scrimmage. 2 wide receivers in the game. 2 tight ends in now. Fendi Audubon and Steve Maneri. Devin Aroma Shadu and Marquise Wilson are the wide receivers. Offensive line remains the same as started the second half. And the rookies on the right side stay in. Kyle Long at right guard. Jordan Mills the right tackle. McCown short pass to Maneri, the tight end. And he is taken out of bounds short of the 20-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play. Bears have to get to the 23 for a first down. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Well, it's a good accurate throw to the flat to allow Maneri to just turn up the sidelines. When you have angles like that for linebackers, it's tough sometimes for them to have an angle to tackle, and Maneri was able to pick up a couple more yards just turning up the sideline.
Eric Weems in as a 3rd wide receiver on 3rd and 5. Michael Bush in the backfield alongside Josh McCown. Everybody out. McCown for Weems, who holds on. First down. Good catch by Eric Weems. He picks up 10 on the play. Weems, a veteran performer. Not a big man, but we mentioned his special teams ability, but a good catch there.
Yeah, made the Pro Bowl down in Atlanta, and even with the more accurate throw, it could have been a bigger play. That's actually the same play that Brandon Marshall dropped in the first half. It's just a little fence route across the middle, and if you hit the receiver in stride, big enough for a first down. It could have been even bigger there for the Bears, but they pick up another 1st and 10.
Up at the 29. Short drop by McCown outside of Devin Aromashadu, and he's forced back after getting up to the 34-yard line. He picked up 5 on the play. Aromashadu, a veteran who's been with the Bears before, went to Minnesota, and he is one of those guys that's right on the bubble when you look at whether they keep 5 receivers, 6 receivers.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult position for the Bears to be in right now. There you see Aromashadou's numbers: 78 receptions, over 1,100 yards, pretty good average, over a 15-yard average, and he is one of the bigger receivers on the Bears football team.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Michael Bush, the running back. Here's Bush. Straight ahead to the 35-yard line. Gain of a yard on the play to bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Bears. Make plans to join us Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central for our next Chicago Bears Network telecast, when the Bears return to Soldier Field to close out the preseason against the Cleveland Browns. Bears preseason football is brought to you by North Shore University Health System. 3 wide receivers. Weems back in. McCown works out of the shotgun. And he started to move forward, and the ball was snapped. There's a flag on the play. The Raiders pointing that they recovered the fumble, and they have.
Illegal motion, offense number 12. Penalties decline. First down.
First turnover of the game for the Bears.
Josh McCown did not he pointed out the Mike backer, and now he wanted to audible. And at that point, when he'd already redirected, what we call redirecting the mic for protection, the next sound, the center, Taylor Boggs, was thinking, hey, that's the snap. He's calling for the football, but McCown wanted to audible as the Raiders were going to bring a blitz on that play.
Boggs, the young center, first-year man out of Humboldt State, with the snap that McCown wasn't expecting. So the Raiders with the ball at the Bears' 34-yard line. Terrell Pryor faking the handoff. He's still got it. Being chased by Whiteside. And he throws along the sideline. It's complete. Inside the 20. Andre Holmes making the catch.
Again, I think this is the thing about Terrell Pryor. As you see Aston Whiteside trying to track him. He's deceiving quick for how big he is. Again, his strides just cover so much ground. It doesn't look like he's moving, but he's covering so much ground, it almost shocks you as a defender. Saw him for 4 years in the Big Ten, and nobody seemed to be able to tackle that guy.
First down, Raiders at the 20, a 14-yard pickup. Bears show blitz. They come with it. The ball out to Jeremy Stewart. Bostic with a good tackle down at the 14-yard line. A pickup of 6 on the play. Once again, the Bears coming with a corner blitz that time.
Yeah, it's just, again, they've been very aggressive here in the preseason, showing a lot of blitzes. And Bostic, that's your man. It's one-on-one. You've got the back, and he's able to finish the play and make the tackle. That's his assignment without any help. And he's been really making plays when they've been trying to single him to get one-on-one.
5 tackles in the game for Jonathan Bostic. Straight ahead, Jeremy Stewart, and at that time, the tackle by Christian Tupou, the defensive tackle on the play.
There you see Kasim Green, also the blitz by the strong side backer. He lined up as the end man on the line of scrimmage. So again, very aggressive play calls by defensive coordinator Mel Tucker with these young players.
Rookie out of USC, Christian Tupou, undrafted rookie, a loss of 2 on the play. Here's 3rd and 6 for the Raiders. Pryor checking off. Everybody out. The rush is on. He made one man miss. There goes Pryor looking for the first down marker. He's out of bounds, short of the first down at the 12-yard line.
The hustle, the motor again at Jonathan Bostic. It's press man-to-man coverage. Again, they're going to challenge Terrell Pryor to throw. Watch him track the quarterback. Again, he's got some scoots. He gets around the side. That's fine. Push him out of bounds short of the first down. That's a great play. Sets up a 4th down. Now look at the play call. They got to settle for the field goal rather than a first down. Jonathan Bostic, that's all hustle on his standpoint right there.
Took a good angle on it, didn't he?
Very good angle, because, again, he's deceivingly quick. when you look at Terrell Pryor. He had the correct angle on that.
Sebastian Janikowski from 30 yards puts it through. He hit the 58-yarder to end the first half. The Raiders have cut the Bears' lead to 14.
Chicago Bears preseason football is sponsored by CDW, your local Ford stores, Tempur-Pedic, and Subway.
Nice shot of the Bay Bridge coming across from San Francisco to Oakland. A great night here. Here's Michael Ford back deep to receive Sebastian Janikowski's kick. Ford steps up, 4 yards deep. He brings it back. Looking for some room. He ran into his own man. A couple of flags come down as Ford is brought down at the 21-yard line. And we'll check out the flags.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 59, half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
3 special teams penalties on the Bears in the game. That sets them back. Time for our Subway game tracker. Some good things by the Bears' first team offense and defense.
Yeah, blitzing. Tim Jennings gets the pick. How about the bubble screen to Matt Forte? He takes it to the house thanks to Alshon Jeffries blocking the outside. Big Michael Bush pounding it. Then another interception. How about Isaiah Fry making a play?
Michael Ford carrying as the Bears start from the 10-yard line. Give Ford 2 yards on the play. Changes up front finally. Kyle Long and Jordan Mills can come out of the game. They played a lot. We had them for a lot of steps into the late portion. 45 plays offensively for the 2 rookie linemen. They did a good job protecting Jay Cutler. 2nd and 8 for Josh McCown. Michael Ford again squeezing through, gets a couple of more yards up to the 14. Michael Ford with an opportunity to make this team. Armando Allen out with an injury, not in uniform tonight, giving Michael Ford, we've seen him on kickoff returns. Now we're seeing him as the running back.
Yeah, had a 100-yard kickoff return a week ago, just 4 yards shy of taking it to the house. But I think his biggest thing is really pass protection. Really needs to show that he can block on third down situations like right now. To state his case of making this roster for the Chicago Bears.
McCown out of the shotgun, 3rd and 6. 3 wide receivers in. McCown rushed, throws, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by the Raiders. Joselio Hansen, the 9-year veteran, formerly with the Philadelphia Eagles, stepped in front of Eric Weems and picked it off.
Yeah, that's what we talk about, not throwing rhythm. That's fine stepping up right there for Josh McCown, but if it's not there or if it's hairy at all, just throw it away. I mean, nothing wrong with putting a football. You see him pounding the turf. He's upset at himself for making that throw. He knows he's better than that, and just throw that one away.
So mistakes by the backups who have come into the game for the Bears here in the second half have led to the Raiders getting back into this one. The Raiders in good field position with the ball at the Bears' 23-yard line. Bears led 27-0 in the first half. Raiders scored a field goal to end the half, and they have continued to put points on the board here in the third quarter. The end around to Jacoby Ford. Took a hard hit from Anthony Walters, number 37, and he picks up 8 on the play. Jacoby Ford, great quickness, great speed, and after a year and a half out of football with injuries, he's coming back here.
Yeah, that's a good job by Walters to stay at home, not fall for the fake on the reverse. That's a good hard hit on Jacoby Ford. And you're right, he is a burner now, and you better square him up and just like Walters did and get him down.
2nd and 2 for the Raiders at the Bears' 15. There's Jeremy Stewart straight ahead, and Jonathan Bostic still in the game. He's played all the way, made the tackle. Very close to the first down marker. And it is a Raiders first down. We're late third quarter. If you joined us late, the Bears first teamers played very, very well in the first half. Offense was outstanding. Defense with a couple of takeaways was good. But now with the backups in the game, the Raiders are trying to make it close. First down at the Bears 13. Terrell Pryor, the quarterback. Being rushed, trying to set up a screen. They chase him. And Kyle Moore, the defensive end, pulls him out of bounds. Good play. Christian Tupou, number 64, and Kyle Moore chased him. And Moore took him out of bounds for the sack. Second sack of the game for the Bears.
Yeah, here Tupou almost went for the pump fake. Good motor, stay in pursuit. And there Kyle Moore able to, needs to be careful about a horse collar there. You got to be careful about that. I think for players like Terrell Pryor, again, you need to go at their assets, which is their legs. And normally, because they have such swivel hips, if you focus on the navel area or the core of their stomach, that's where you won't get fooled when they start, trying to make you miss with a juke and a jive and all those things. And that's where you can make the mistake. Just go right at the midsection.
Jeremy Stewart, the running back, carries inside the 20. It was a loss of 11 on the previous play on the sack. And they get back 5 on this one. Bring up a third down for the Raiders. They have to get to the 3-yard line for a first down, 3rd and 17. Dennis Allen in his second year as head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Reggie McKenzie, the general manager. They have turned over this roster in 2 years. They had a 4-12 season last year. And the AFC West has gotten stronger. It'll be tough on them. That pass is caught for a touchdown. Well, let's see. Yes, he crossed the goal line. He broke the plane. Nick Casa, the rookie out of Colorado, with a catch and pulling his way into the end zone for a 19-yard touchdown on a 3rd and 16 play.
Yeah, it was a really nice throw by Terrell Pryor because he back shoulders him here. I believe that's Bostic on the coverage right there. Yeah, it is Bostic on the coverage. And Nick Casa was a converted defensive end. It switched to tight end at Colorado, and he makes the big catch. Pretty good coverage, but that's really an accurate throw by Terrell Pryor to beat that defense.
So this game has turned around as we're coming down to the end of the third quarter. The Raiders have scored 17 points here in the third quarter. The Bears have turned the ball over. The Raiders have made them pay. And that was an outstanding play by Nick Casa, 6th-round draft pick. Mark Trestman talking to Josh McCown, who was scheduled to play only the third quarter. And Jordan Palmer signed this over the weekend, last weekend. Is expected to play the fourth quarter. Let's see what they want to do. Right now we go down to the field to Lou Canellis. Lou.
All right, thanks very much, Sam. I'm alongside Peanut Tillman. Size up the way this first team defense has played through 3 preseason games.
I think we've looked good. I still think there's room for improvement, though.
In what areas?
Tackles, more takeaways, just in everything. I don't think we're as good as we can be yet.
When was the last time you had a quarterback sack?
Maybe 2-3 years or something like that. I don't know.
I was going to say, in the 11-year career, there haven't been many of them, have there?
I think I got like 2 or 3 career, something like that.
Do you need to play in the game against Cleveland, or are you set now and ready for September 8th against Cincinnati?
In the Cleveland game. There's always room for improvement. So, man, that's a real close-up you're getting right there. Yeah, I don't mind if we have to play in the Cleveland game.
Thanks, Peanut.
Yeah.
All right, Sam.
Thanks, Lou. Thanks to Charles Tillman. And the first string defense did play well. The return by Michael Ford, 32 yards up to the 26-yard line. Josh McCown coming back on the field. And after last 2 possessions, the starting line of scrimmage was the 13 and then the 10. This is a little breathing room for Josh McCown.
Yeah, and I think you saw Mark Trestman talking to Josh McCown on the sideline. One thing that'll drive head coaches bonkers is turnovers. And even though he was under duress on the last play that got picked off, he doesn't want to end on a bad note, and Josh McCown marches back out there to end on a high note.
Everybody out. McCown swings it out to Michael Ford. Takes it in stride. Nice play Nice gain. That was a perfectly thrown swing pass.
Very accurate throw. That's what you have to do. If you hit the running backs on the run, they can just go north and south, turn up the field, and Ford hauls it in, but it's just a little swing pass to the outside. And again, it's angles. Once they get past, it's difficult for linebackers to run at that angle and bring down running backs and tight ends when you attack the flat route so quick. But with an accurate throw, you're able to get more yards, and that was a nice throw right there by Josh McCown.
An 11-yard pickup. The Bears will have the ball to start the fourth quarter, leading the Raiders 27-20. Sam Rosen, Jim Miller, Lou Canellis here in Oakland. We start the fourth quarter with the Bears leading 27-20. They led 27-0 at one point in the first half as the Bears starters totally outplayed the Raiders starters. Raiders turning things around with 17 points in the third quarter. Bears have Taylor Boggs at center, Edwin Williams and James Brown are the guards. Jamarcus Webb and Evan Britton are the tackles. The running back is Michael Ford. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends on first down from their own 37. Josh McCown outside, and it's dropped by Fendi Anabun. The Bears keep trying, and Anabun keeps dropping.
And it's unfortunate because you love the athleticism of the young man. He looks the part.
Looks like his hand is hurting. Might have hurt a finger.
But that's what it's been for him. Again, just the consistency issue. You're rooting for the young man because you want him to do well. He has all the athleticism in the world. It really takes to blocking. Coach Trestman talked to us about that. Say, hey, he has the want to do all these things. But again, it's about finishing and consistency. And that's the area of the game that he's really struggled in.
Kyle Adams and Steve Maneri are the tight ends, and McCown steps back and calls the timeout.
Timeout, Chicago.
Just underway in the fourth quarter, the Bears with a 27-20 lead. And McCown comes over. Jordan Palmer, who we'll see later on in this fourth quarter, has the helmet on. He's ready to come in the game. The Chicago Bears Network is home to the Bears All Access Radio Show, brought to you by Sports Authority. Along with hosts Zach Zaidman and Patrick Mantley, a variety of Bears players will take over your radio each week. The next show is Thursday at 6 p.m. on WSCR 670 The Score. Patrick Mantley nursing sore ribs and unable to play tonight.
And I think after 231 game appearances, he may deserve a day off. Let's just put it that way.
2nd and 10. Michael Ford trying to go wide, and nothing there. He bounces it back the other way and is brought down at the 35, a loss of 2 on the play. He'll bring up a 3rd and 12. Omar Gaither, one-time Philadelphia Eagle, made the tackle on Michael Ford.
It's good effort. He's a real compact young player. 5'10", 215 pounds, free agent from LSU. We mentioned the 100-yard kickoff return, but he's powerful in the legs. It takes more than one guy to bring him down, and here he has good effort and extra on that particular play, fighting to try and get anything he can get.
Here's 3rd and 12, 3 wide receivers in. Eric Weems is the 3rd wide out. McCown gets time. He's got a man open and overthrows Marquise Wilson. So the Bears offense stalls.
Well, it's good pass protection right there. And the thing is, because safety's over the top, you have the hold shot there. If anything, you try to throttle Marquise Wilson in the hole and protect him from the safety coming over the top. Would have been a difficult catch? Yes, it would have. It's 3rd and long, and Raiders obviously well prepared for it.
Adam Podlesh in to punt. No, it's Tress Way. Oh, I'm sorry, it is Podlesh, who aims for the sideline, but it stays inbounds. Phillip Adams takes it, brings it back, and gets up across the 30-yard line. Brought down by Kyle Adams, no relation. 45-yard punt, 10-yard return. And the Raiders, who have cut the Bears' lead to 7, have it.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 82. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
It's on Richard Gordon, one of the Raiders' tight ends. Raiders with the ball when we come back. Bears leading by 7.
score Miller Lite Beer Scare. Visit your local retailer now through November 15th for more details. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time.
Oakland Raiders have scored their last 4 possessions in the game as you have a nighttime look at downtown Oakland. Matt McGloin, rookie out of Penn State. Free agent rookie is in at quarterback, takes the deep drop on first down, and the pass almost intercepted through the hands of the linebacker Blake Costanzo. Oh, that would have been a big one.
Yeah, got to squeeze it on that one. And again, we know he's a special teams demon, but trying to earn a spot again, it's about 6 or 7 linebackers. How many are the Bears going to keep when final roster cuts come down? And he's upset at himself. These linebackers, it's tough. I mean, they got to get on those jugs machines just like receivers after the practice and after a long, hard day of tackling and sweating. Sometimes that's hard to motivate yourself to do.
Blitz coming. Jeremy Stewart slips as he tried to cut. It's a loss of a couple of yards. We go down to the field to Lou Canellas. Lou.
All right, thanks very much, Sam. 6 carries, 76 yards, and 2 more catches. How good are you feeling right now?
Feel good. Offense is clicking. We wanted to come out and start early today. And, the last 2 games that we started was kind of slow and then picked it up. But we did come out and we started early, made the most off of the turnovers that the defense created. So we did well.
At one point, I saw you come over to the bench and shake the hands of all your offensive linemen. Size up the way they played tonight.
They did well. I always do that. No matter if they play well or if they don't play well, you got to take care of the offensive linemen. So they played well today, especially those 2 rookies on the right side. They continue to impress me. And I think if we continue to get better each week and they keep playing and taking strides forward, I think we'll do very well this year.
Mark Trestman loves throwing the football to his running backs in his offense. Is it too much for me to ask of you to have 100 catches and 1,000 yards rushing this season?
I don't know. That's a lot of catches,
But it would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe less catches and more yards, average yards per catch or something like that. But, there's no limit in this offense, I think. We can spread the ball around. Alshon had a lot of catches today. Martellus got the ball today. And, I got the ball, in the passing game too as well. So it's a lot of ways to get the ball in this offense. And, it's going to be fun to be out there.
I was going to say, you look like you're having a lot of fun. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, Matt Forte. Sam, back to you.
Thanks, Lou. Matt Forte, one of the real big keys to the offense for the Chicago Bears, who had a great night tonight. The Raiders converted a 3rd and 11 with a 30-yard pass to Connor Vernon, rookie wide receiver. That pass almost picked off by C.J. Wilson. The Bears, who have 2 interceptions in the game, have dropped 3 potential picks.
Yeah, almost had one. It's a little bootleg naked. Now Matt McGloin, he's out of Penn State, is in there for the Oakland Raiders. And, throws late on the throw. But here's C.J. Wilson. He's got to make that play. Hits him in the hands, and those are the ones, you got to finish. In order to make the team, those are the plays the coaches want to see him make. But, hey, breaks up the pass, and nicely done by C.J. Wilson.
The offense has had 6 drops, and the defense has had 3 drops. That time, it is intercepted by C.J. Wilson, and he returns it inside the 45 to the Raiders' 44, and he takes the ball with him. The rookie cornerback out of North Carolina State, C.J. Wilson, with the interception, and the Bears have the football in Raiders territory. 3rd interception of the game for the Bears.
Well, here he gets another crack at it the very next play, but it was really the safety blitz. Brandon Harden blitzed on the play. Matt McGloin got scared, and then here just throws it up. Can't do it as a quarterback, but C.J. Wilson, hey, comes back right away the next play and now finishes that one. That's got to be, a great feeling for him at the end of the night.
Jordan Palmer, who is the younger brother of Carson Palmer, now the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, and who played with the Oakland Raiders last season. Jordan Palmer takes over. The Bears signed him last Saturday. Michael Ford on the carry, trying to bounce it outside. Gets down to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 4 on the play. The Bears, turnovers are a big factor for him. There's the run by Ford.
Look at the spin move. Good balance for, again, just his compact frame. I think he's a very strong runner. As you see, he continues to break tackles. And Jordan Palmer doesn't come with a lot of experience. He was a 2007 sixth-round draft pick out of UTEP by the Washington Redskins. Ends up playing a couple years for the Cincinnati Bengals with his brother, Carson Palmer, who's now with the Cardinals. But very little experience, only 15 passes in his NFL career.
Nice run by Michael Ford on second down. Gets down inside the 24-yard line, a gain of 17. Ford turning the corner nicely on this play.
Well, look at the edge blocking right there by Jamarcus Webb. He gets just enough of the defensive end. And when we talked to Mark Trestman, he said, Jamarcus Webb, who's competing for a roster spot to be the swing tackle, has played well. He hasn't sulked his head at all. Went to work this week, has played both left and right tackle, and now he's in at the left tackle spot, really working hard to make this team after taking a pay cut less than a week ago.
Yeah, a big one too. More than half his salary. First down Bears at the Raiders 23. That's Kyle Adams, the tight end, shifting. Ford carrying, finds an opening, and Ford doing a good job picking his way down to the 15-yard line. He gains 8 on the play. Back-to-back good runs by Michael Ford.
Yeah, they're in the red zone now, and we'll see if they can protect the ball. And Kyle Adams did a good job. Again, it's just a lead week play, and what the lead is, it's where the fullback, who is Kyle Adams, leads on the linebacker.
And you know what this is? This is the Sports Authority red zone. We don't fool around. We get it all red in there. You know where the Bears are here.
Got to come away with points. That's what it is down there in the red zone.
Ford, 6 carries, 32 yards. Second and short. The 3 wide receivers in, the toss to Ford. He's got the first down, trying to get to the goal line. Nice spins, and he's in. Great run by Michael Ford for the touchdown.
Did I say he could break tackles? He can break tackles, but he gets a great block by his guard, Evan Britton. Really did a nice job on that play. He pulls, look, he's out of the tackle. I'm sorry, that's Evan Britton at tackle. Thought he pulled out of the guard spot. He gets the lead block, but it's just the moves. Look at the spin move. Got to have nice hips and swivel hips to do that. Keeps his balance. Twice he did it in one run. That's really a nice job by Ford.
When he came out of high school in Louisiana, he was the number 3 prospect in America and didn't have a great career at LSU, but he had a good senior year, and here he is trying to make this team, and he's making a statement. Good return man and a good runner from the line of scrimmage here.
Yeah, they're just a little sweep, and how about Michael Ford doing his best to make this roster?
Take a look at the Ford scoring drive. 4 plays, 44 yards. All runs by Michael Ford on that drive. We have 7 carries, 57 yards in the game. Tywan Jones drops the kickoff, finally controls it, and the Bears, who with a hard hit, take him down at the 12-yard line. So the Bears, who were in danger of letting that big 27-point lead slip away, now have opened it back up to 2 touchdowns.
Right there you see it. Once he stepped up in the pocket, rather than fading away, he's able to scramble and get the first down. Again, that's just trust. It's trusting the coaching of the Chicago Bears coaches, and I think they're finally really making strides with Jay Cutler and breaking some bad habits.
I like those football lessons. Draw play. Jeremy Stewart carrying straight ahead for 4 on the play. Speaking of Jay Cutler, we just looked at, he's with Lou Canellas. Take it away, Lou.
All right, thanks very much, Sam. The first string offense looked terrific. Is that what we should expect throughout the regular season?
It's preseason still, so we can't get too excited. We did well. I thought the offensive line did a heck of a job from start to finish. The camera's really close right now. But, we just got to keep working. We just got to keep getting better and better.
All right, you told me last night that tonight was going to be the true test for that right side of the offensive line. Did they pass?
Yeah, I think they did well. I think the whole crew's getting better and better in each and every game. They're doing a great job. The 2 young guys are coming along as we expect them to come along. And the guys on the outside are making plays when we give them the ball. And I thought Matt ran the heck out of the ball.
You also told me last night that Alshon has been as good as anyone in training camp. Jay, he's a net out there. Everything around him he grabs.
Yeah, he's got a big area you throw the ball to him. B was a little bit off tonight, and Alshon picked it up for us, and Martellus had a good job out there. And offensive line starts up there. If they can do that, it opens up some things on the outside for these guys.
All right, are the guys on the outside your buddies like Bennett and Brandon? Are they buying drinks tonight because they dropped 5 balls on you?
Well, they just on the sideline asked me when I'm taking them to dinner. They said, when are we going to dinner next week? So
they're picking up the tab.
Well, they won't bring credit cards, so I'll have to pay it. So they'll be fine. I know what B can do. I think he's a little bit disappointed in the 3rd preseason game for that to happen, but he's going to be fine.
Jay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Sam.
All right, thanks, Lou. Thanks to Jay Cutler for joining us. Good game for him in the first-string offense. Cutler throwing the ball well, was not sacked at all in the game as he talked about the offensive line giving him good protection from beginning to end. Right here, the Raiders have moved from their own 12-yard line out beyond the 40 and now into Bears territory, down to the 31-yard line on a 20-yard completion to Trey Session, the first-year man out of Nevada.
That's really a nice job by Matt McGloin, the quarterback. See him backpedaling right there just to find the open lane and lofted into the soft spot there. Well coached by Bill O'Brien at Penn State and trying to make his best cases. Again, the Raiders are trying to develop 4 young quarterbacks. They drafted Tyler Wilson out of Arkansas, who is yet to play in this ball game.
Cornelius Washington in at left defensive end for the Bears. Short drop by McGloin. Trahan, number 59, on the tackle for the Bears. Patrick Trahan after a 9-yard pickup. Get your day off to a good start. Watch Good Day Chicago weekday mornings beginning at 4:30 a.m. on Fox 32. We'll be back with you Thursday night for the final preseason game at Soldier Field. The Bears and the Browns, 7 p.m. start right here on the Chicago Bears network. So Aaron Cromer, the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, along the sideline. Aaron's been straining, lost his voice, laryngitis during the week.
Oakland.
Timeout for the Raiders with 6:21 remaining. The Bears with a 2-touchdown lead, and Mark Trestman trying to get a lot of players out on the field. As they say, get them on tape. Let people have a look at them.
Chicago Bears preseason football is sponsored by Geico, Toyota, Chase, and Miller Lite.
4. Lance Briggs on the sideline holding court, leader of the defense. Nice cutback and a broken tackle by Jeremy Stewart. Takes the ball down to the Bears' 14-yard line. A gain of 8 on the play. And another first down for the Raiders as they are on the move. Blake Costanzo heading for the sideline. As we mentioned, Bears using a lot of players, getting just about everybody into the game. 10 players did not suit up for tonight's game, out with injuries. Seeing a lot of young players being used. Cornelius Washington, number 78, is a defensive end. Eric Foster, who was recently signed, former Indianapolis Colt, is in number 94, defensive tackle. McGloin being chased and the pass blocked. Nice play by Cornelius Washington.
Yeah, it's a nice play by Washington. And also, again, a lot of sets that Mel Tucker's playing with. It was corners over. And what I mean by that, it was a slot set by the Oakland Raiders. So they put C.J. Wilson where it's corners over. Why? Because they wanted to isolate Brandon Harden and Zibikowski to see if they could do one-on-one coverage on the backside. But Cornelius Washington, he's another guy who has a high motor. His measurables are incredible. He needs more playing time. He needs to learn counter moves, things like that. But he's going to be a good player for the Bears.
On the delay, Stewart inside the 10, fights his way down to about the 7-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play. Bring up a 3rd down and short for the Raiders, a 3rd and 3. With time winding down in this game, there's Kyle Long, whose dad, a former great of the Oakland Raiders, Howie Long, Hall of Famer, is here tonight seeing his son play as an NFL player, live and in person for the first time. And a great moment for Howie and the entire Long family. And that's a good stop on the inside. It'll bring up a 4th down.
To the 5.
There's the family. Chris, a first-round draft pick of the Rams. He has really improved become a real tenacious pass rushing defensive end. Howie, of course, an all-time great Hall of Famer with the Raiders, and the man in the middle, the young man, is the Bears' #1 draft pick and looking to be one of the anchors of the offensive line for a long time.
Yeah, great pedigree. All are great players. And I believe Kyle Long is going to be a good one as well. He has got just brute strength that he can get away with, and until he learns the game from the neck up, he can get away with it just because he's so physically gifted, obviously with the tools passed on from his father.
On 4th and 1, the pass to the fullback, Jameis Olawale. He's got it and takes it in for the touchdown for the Raiders. A 5-yard touchdown pass from McGloin to Olawale, and the Raiders back up on the board.
Well, it's a quick play action, so Patrick Trahan, now it's actually Brandon Harden, he gets out leveraged to the outside. And so he's got to react quicker. And again, he's a young player, hasn't played in a couple years, and he's got to be first to the flat in order to cut that off.
The Raiders down by 8 will go for 2. All right, let's see what the Bears defense comes up with here. McGloin works out of the shotgun. Looking for the cut to the inside, and the pass was incomplete. The play broken up, and the 2-point conversion fails, but it's still a 1-possession game.
Good job. Hard inside technique right there. Enough to break up the pass right there.
Derek Martin reaching in. Martin was signed recently. Defensive back who has played in the league with Baltimore, Green Bay, the Giants, and New England.
A lot of experience. Won 2 Super Bowls, believe it or not. I mean, that's not bad.
So the Bears defense comes up with a good play on the 2-point conversion try. The Bears have the 8-point lead with time winding down. Not far away is the start of the regular season, and it will be a tough start. The Bengals at home, the Vikings at home, then at Pittsburgh, at Detroit. The Saints come in, and at the Giants and the Redskins and the Packers. That's a pretty good, tough first half of the schedule.
Yeah, I just think right out the gate, the Cincinnati Bengals, because they've been to the playoffs 2 years in a row, and their D-line is deep now. They picked up James Harrison. Geno Atkins, everybody considers him one of the top defensive tackles in the league. And so I think for them, that is going to be a huge test in terms of their pass protection when you look at the Chicago Bears.
How do you like the way the Bears shape up in the division against the Packers, Lions, and Vikings?
I do. I think it's wide open. I think the Bears is just as good a shot as everybody. I know everybody wants to tip their cap to Green Bay. They lost their left tackle now, and Brian Bulaga. They're a little bit beat up. They gave up over 50 sacks a year ago. They have a hard time protecting their quarterback.
Nice kickoff return by Michael Ford, 31 yards. He's had a spot in this game. For the Bears, early on it was all Bears. That's Matt Forte. Took a swing pass, 32 yards for a touchdown. Then it was Michael Bush finishing off the drive with a 10-yard touchdown run. Bush again on a 1-yard run for his second touchdown against his former team. And Michael Ford with a spinning touchdown run. So the Bears backs have scored all 4 touchdowns in the game. Robbie Gould has a couple of field goals, including a 53-yarder. Jordan Palmer is the quarterback. Flag, false start on the Bears.
5-yard penalty, first down.
That's called on Jamarcus Webb. The Bears offense scored on 5 of 6 possessions in the first half, with 252 total yards and no turnovers. 3 wide receivers in, on 1st and 15 for the Bears at the 24-yard line. Here's Ford behind Jamarcus Webb. He cut it upfield and is brought down just across the 25. Pickup of 2 on the play. What are your thoughts on Michael Ford and his chances?
I really like his chances. Again, Armando Allen, because of the hamstring injury, you know, we'll see. Again, I think it comes down to his third down pass protection and how comfortable they feel with Michael Ford. But I think he's produced. I think they know he could be a diamond in the rough with how he's performed. Very strong. He's a more physical runner, in my opinion, than Armando Allen, who's more of the scat back type. Really, Michael Ford can do it all, in my opinion.
Ford with 4 kickoff returns, averaging 25 yards. And this play is stopped. A delay of game penalty.
5-yard penalty, second down.
Now it's time to go through the air with United. And we check out the quarterback stats of the first 2 quarterbacks of the Bears. Jay Cutler with a good game. Of those 9 incompletions, 5 drops. But overall, an outstanding game. Josh McCown, 5 for 9, 42 yards, 1 interception. Josh McCown along the sideline and next to Jay Cutler. Neither of those 2 will play Thursday night against the Browns. It'll be all Jordan Palmer, who drops off the short pass to Michael Ford, and Trent Edwards, who was also signed earlier this week. 5-yard pickup for the Bears.
And even that's interesting because it's going to affect, it potentially could affect roster spots. Do they keep 3? Is Matt Blanchard going to be able to come back healthy from the broken knuckle? And so Trent Edwards will probably a better fit in the West Coast offense. He was drafted by the Buffalo Bills and has been in the West Coast system before, but Jordan Palmer trying to put his best foot forward here to make this team.
Jordan Palmer, his 5th year out of Texas El Paso, 6'5". There's Trent Edwards. We'll see him on Thursday night. The Oakland Raiders used a timeout with a little over 3 minutes remaining. And the Bears with the 8-point lead. Ball at the 26-yard line. 3 wide receivers in. Number 11 is Josh Lenz. A handoff inside to Ford. Picking his way up ahead and gets up close to the 35. Spotted at the 34. Pickup of 8 on the play. And the Bears will punt it away, but the Raiders use another timeout. And they'll get the ball back with some time on the clock, hoping for the rally against the backups. First string for the Bears, outstanding. If you joined us late, great night for all the first teamers. Alshon Jeffrey, the wide receiver, had a terrific game.
Yeah, I think he did outstanding. You know, and this it kind of coincides. I want to get back to the conversation that you started about. Well, hey, what do you think in the division?
Yeah.
By far, everybody just say the Bears have the best defense. Everybody wants to tip their cap to Green Bay and their offense, but I mentioned some of their offensive issues right now that they're going to have to figure out. In Detroit is kind of a wild card with Reggie Bush. They've been missing a scat back for so long, and I think they corrected that with Reggie Bush.
Adam Podlesh with the punt. Phillip Adams waves for a fair catch at the 17-yard line. 48-yard punt, no return. Coming up Tuesday, 3 p.m., first roster cuts in the NFL as teams cut down to 75 players. Then after the final preseason game, teams get down to 53. And just prior to the start of the regular season, you establish your practice squad of 8 players. But it'll be interesting. There'll be some moves with players released from some teams being picked up by others. And we've said it all along throughout the preseason. You're trying to make this team, but you're also auditioning for the other teams around the league.
Well, absolutely. And I got to believe here tonight, I guarantee you, there are scouts from other teams. They know the Bears are loaded with a lot of talent.
9 teams in the NFL have scouts here at this game. 1 CFL team, Toronto Argonauts, have a scout here. Here's McGloin faking and throwing and finding a man open. Up across the 30-yard line, it's Greg Jenkins, a rookie out of Alabama State, a 15-yard pickup. The Raiders are out of timeouts. We do have the 2-minute warning coming up. No huddle here. Matt McGloin, 23-year-old rookie out of Penn State, undrafted. Gets time and throws, and he completes it to his tight end down to the 41-yard line. Brian Leonhardt, rookie out of Bemidji State, not known as a football school. Bemidji State is more known for its hockey. We have reached the 2-minute warning. Leonard making the grab. The Raiders trying to come back. We are back in Oakland, a game in which the Bears led 27-0 late in the second quarter. The Raiders scored at the end of the first half with a field goal, scored 17 points in the third quarter, as their backups have gotten the better of the Bears' backups, and they've cut into the lead. Now it's an 8-point game with 2 minutes remaining. Raiders are out of timeouts at the Bears 41. McGloin being chased on the blitz, throws it away. Good pressure by DeMontre Hurst, the rookie defensive back out of Oklahoma. Time to look at our Miller Lite players of the game. Outstanding on offense, Matt Forte, rushing the football, catching the football, a touchdown off the swing pass, and Alshon Jeffrey with a big game, 7 catches, 77 yards.
Yeah, I think, well, there's 2 players that need to get ignited in this offense. There will be more weapons than just Brandon Marshall. One in West Coast systems, go back to Roger Craig. Remember those productive years out there in San Francisco? I think that's what Forte and how he's going to be utilized. And Alshon Jeffrey, think of Rice and Taylor. The Bears have 2 pretty good wideouts in Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall.
McGloin's pass was incomplete, brings up a 3rd down.
Yeah, want to go out to our social media and another Twitter question. This one's from @DBLBRL. Daryl says we need to bring back the nicknames. He goes, how about, Walter Payton equaled sweetness? He wants Jeffrey to equal freshness. I don't know if Jeffrey will go for freshness? Sam, but I'll tell you what, Jonathan Bostic already has a nickname. His name is Boom Bostic. You know you've arrived when you get your own nickname. That's all I know.
As a rookie who hasn't played a regular season game yet. Blitz is on. Oh, that's Cornelius Washington with pressure from the outside. Good rush by the big defensive end. 3rd sack of the game for the Bears. A big smile for Cornelius.
Well, look at his wingspan when he goes into sack McGloin. It's unbelievable. This guy's measurables just buried him, and man, does he have a wingspan and vertical leap. I always talk about his measurables. He has a chance to really be a really great player for Chicago.
4th down for the Raiders after the 13-yard loss. McGloin looking, throwing, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Jerry Franklin, the linebacker. The 4th interception of the game for the Bears. And the linebackers love it. They all stick together. Lance Briggs, the first man down. Anderson pummeling Jerry Franklin on the interception.
Again, look at the effort of Washington. He was tracking him down. That got McGloin nervous, and he forced a football he shouldn't. So good for Franklin, and you're right, Lance Briggs, he's the one that keeps it lively for all those linebackers. He's doing a great job being a leader.
So the Bears will put this in the win column. Not that that was the most essential thing, but it always feels better. If you're going to fly to the West Coast and fly back overnight, you want to fly back as a winner.
Absolutely. I think good ebb and flow for the offense, and they are. They should feel pretty good about themselves. They've got to put it in perspective. It's not the real deal.
No.
They're trying to get ready for Week 1 against the Bengals.
You think the coaches saw what they wanted to see out of the backups as they look for depth?
No, I think they wanted to see a little bit more. It was enough to make the decisions necessary for the first cut down.
Yep.
Let's put it that way. Some players, you hate to say that, they didn't show up when the lights turned on, and therefore, the coaches, that decision was made for them, that they didn't come with their mind right to make the plays that they needed to make.
Now, what about Thursday night's game against Cleveland? The regulars won't play, if at all. Maybe a little bit, but the starting offensive players won't play.
Very basic. That clock's going to be running. I would expect them to run the football quite a bit and get through that game without any injuries.
Good job by the starters of the Chicago Bears. Jay Cutler had a strong night. The only negative for the starting offense was drop passes. Other than that, a terrific effort. Both the rookies on the offensive line did a good job.
Did a nice job in pass protection against blitz. Good job with rhythm, timing in terms of longer throws, not just short 3-step drops, intermediate and down the field throws. Jay Cutler was clean to throw the football.
Kyle Long and Jordan Mills did a good job blocking up front. Matt Forte had a big game. Alshon Jeffrey a big game. Jay Cutler with a strong one. Don't forget to join us for our final preseason game Thursday night, August 29th, 7 p.m. from Soldier Field. It'll be the Bears and the Cleveland Browns right here on the Chicago Bears Network. For Jim Miller and Lou Canellis, this is Sam Rosen. Bears beat the Raiders 34-26. So long.